And just so
Speaking
people,
of getting points and working with Sony, a question I've been seeing come up a lot in chat is PS Vita support. Do you know if that's going to be worked into the Sony
Um,
paradigm for this game, or?
I don't know. I don't know if this game in particular will be good for the Vita,
Yeah.
just in general.
you can't see it because I
But
don't
as a
have a
developer,
webcam, but I'm shaking my head furiously.
well, as a developer, I am extremely entertained by the idea behind the Vita. I really want to get one and just play with it. I want to be able to develop for one because I think just that control scheme for it is really cool. Like that, the Tearaway game looks amazing.
Mm,
But I'm sure if we ask Sony, hey, give us some Vitas to play around with, they'll totally send some over. I'd be
probably.
excited at least.
Just so people know how like easy it is to switch, to switch from like developing for iOS to developing for PS4. It's literally edit up the top, build settings, click the device you want to build for, switch build. Done. Congratulations, you're now building for PS4. That's it.
Although if you start with a PS4 project and you try to build down to iOS, good fucking luck.
Oh yeah, things are gonna break. Yep.
I mean that's what happened. If people aren't familiar, we developed a platformer for iOS called Grievers.
Creepers.
That was originally a PC Mac game, and it started that way. So we had to, do severe performance optimizations to get it down to mobile level.
Yep.
And of course, we
Minimalize
designed
those
control
draw
scheme.
calls.
Oh yeah.
In my
And
classes, we're literally just going over mobile design now. So it's like, no, see, you've got more than like 5 draw calls. Bad student.
It's going back to the
it's like
days where if you were to make a game, no matter what you did, you had to make sure it fit on one floppy disk, or else.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
pretty much.
It's kind of like that. It's like no transparencies because we were like targeting the iPhone 3GS that couldn't even handle transparency. It would just like blew up. So
All
yeah,
right, we got.
from PC to PS4, yeah, no problem.
We got a question about adventure mode. Will the leveling system be the same as it is as skirmish mode?
No, we'll actually
Dun,
have
dun, dun, dun.
a real level and progress system that actually probably locks stuff and unlocks things and all kinds of cool things that you do in actual RPGs. As to exactly what that'll look like, I have no idea. I haven't designed it yet, but that's the plan because it's not balanced anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've got a few
Okay.
questions from Knight Relkus. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, man. He asked you guys earlier about maybe some tweaks to voice so you can determine if someone is talking in party chat, and an in-game clan system for making and applying for clans. Either of those
Yep.
considered?
Well, the big problem is the way Steam Voice is handled because there's only one channel.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? Double check with Occam.
Yeah, that's part of it. We can do some in-game UI stuff. I mean, at some point it was the crew chat was purple, right?
Mm-hmm.
We might be able to do something similar to that. I mean, it's still not directly. You still need to look at the screen to see who's chatting.
Yeah.
There's a possibility there. What was the other question?
An in-game clan system for making and applying for clans.
Right.
So actually like rosters and stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's another. I wish I had that feature in the game, but in all honest to God, is that we're working on co-op mode stuff. So I don't know when we can actually do. There's a lot of cool like polished features that we want to have, but it's just a question of
Picking and choosing what you can actually devote the resources and time to.
right. And like we could polish forever. It's once you get into polish mode, it's a very slippery slope. We have to just like really just put our foot down and it's like, hey, we need to concentrate on other things because we have such a small team size. So I mean, we'd love all these different kinds of clan features and stuff like that, but hopefully at least we can facilitate that with at least our competitive website. At least that hopefully can be the official paradigm for that.
Which is coming when?
Yeah, Matt.
Okay. Any chance of us getting a full team voice chat other than just a ship?
No, I don't think so because the captain needs to talk to all his crew, but the crew does not need to talk to another ship's crew. What would they talk about? I can't go over to your ship and repair something. You can't come over to my ship and shoot something. So there's no reason for other crew members to speak with other crew. The captains, though, they need to talk to each other to coordinate where their ships are going.
And then there's also, like, if you're just hanging out with 8 friends, there's still the party system and whatnot.
Yeah,
like, if
you
you
have the
really
party
need
system.
to...
Yeah, exactly.
And as a bonus, that one likes to differentiate between stuff that's important on the ship and stuff that's just idle banter.
Right.
All right, and then there's been a couple questions. There was one I wanted to grab on quickly. Will there be a way to choose which microphone you're using if you have multiple? You can actually do it now because it's through Steam. If you just go through your own settings and voice, you can choose which microphone you're using.
Okay. What's the difference between co-op and adventure mode?
So co-op will focus on, if you think about Left 4 Dead and the types of stuff that you do in that, just playing with your friends against some AI. That's it.
Okay.
That's what co-op mode is. Adventure mode is everything in skirmish, everything in co-op. Put it in a box, mix it all up. But now everything you do will affect the world in some way. Politics, the factions. That's the differentiator there. So skirmish mode is the ship-to-ship combat. Co-op is the AI. Adventure mode is the world.
Cool. Okay, question from Imagine. Are you worried at all that there's not going to be enough players to fill 6 factions adequately?
I think once we release co-op, we're pretty confident that they'll get a lot of players because just in general, PvP turns a lot of people off in general because they may not want to be really competitive. So co-op will be something that appeals to more people, I think. So that'll bump our player numbers up. If in the case that we can't get enough people to run 6 factions, who knows, maybe we'll have to cut some out. Maybe we'll have to save some factions that you can't join. Maybe that's maybe we control those factions in the office. We're not sure yet, but we'll take it one step at a time and see what the actual player numbers are.
Okay, cool. They're asking about plans to increase the bit rate of the voice quality in game.
The bit rate of the voice chat.
Yeah. So
I want to say that's a Steam thing.
Probably.
I mean, of course, if you increase the bit rate, that means more data needs to be transferred over the internet, so it'll just cause lag, perhaps. So voice, just to hear what someone is saying, actually requires very, very little bit rate. The only time that you really want a high bit rate is you're recording a sound or you're listening to music. So at the end of the day, I don't think you need it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's going to save your bandwidth to actually shoot and repair and drive the boat around.
Fair enough.
We missed over a question about, is there a plan to implement basically a downvote system on players, since we already have the thumbs up? And the answer is currently no. I mean,
nope.
There is currently the report system that you can ask Meta 5. Each report is gone through every single day. And
there's a lot of cross-checking, and we keep track of a lot of things on our end, so there's a lot of cross-checking that I usually do on the reports. So.
And a lot of laughing. A lot of laughing.
Hey, you won't believe what this guy is saying. Come here. He's like the Dr. Seuss of racism.
Yeah, just in general, our design philosophy is to always provide players meaningful ways to do something, positive ways to do something. So to downvote on a player is something negative that you can do to someone, and that's something that we're against in general. So downvoting players, no, it's not that meaningful. It just, we think, will actually, provide trolls to an area to troll people. I'm just going to downvote everyone, right? It's not the best thing we can do. But yeah, the commendation system is there to, build someone else's reputation, sort of like in League of Legends, what they're doing with Honor.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, and the reporting system is, for really serious cases where you think you're being trolled or someone is doing something that is clearly not in our, agreement. So we, as Kivias and Meta has said, we look at that every day. I mean, where you're talking to the people who look at it. So, whenever you see someone's name in green or any of the CAs, please respect their what they're saying, and if they ask you to stop doing something, please stop. There's very good reason why they're telling you to stop. I trust their opinion, so yeah, continue.
As one of the people who has to handle these things a lot of the time, I'd like to make 2 quick points here. The first is that, by and large, we really do have a wonderful community here, and the vast majority of problems get resolved with just a quick, hey, cut that out. And you're like, okay, sorry. And, repeat offenders tend not to be that much of an issue. But that being said, if you guys are filing a report on someone, please give us something more to go on than, he was being mean. That doesn't help. Give us something. Give us a lead, please. It helps. Give us details.
Whew. So, Meta5, your cards are terrible. My God, I haven't got almost anything here. Whew.
Yeah, the bingo hasn't been working out very well. I'm very sorry, Meta.
And I can't
What
believe
can I
you
say?
haven't got a vote kick thing on there. It should be boarding and vote kick should be 2 free spaces.
Oh my God! Why don't I have vote kick or a 1v1?
God damn. And yet, no, Knight,
somebody asked a really
we are
cliche
never,
question.
I'm not a Muse employee, they are never having a vote kick system ever. CAs can kick people, but that's not the same thing. That's to be used when people are
that's-
being dicks.
Pretty much, yeah.
We don't
square.
No.
I thought of that.
They don't care if it's just for ships. No.
No vote kick.
Like
Again, that's something negative you can do to another player.
Yeah, like, I understand why you would want it. I know there are trolley players out there, but ultimately, it's one game, then you can go find another match, or find a game without them, etc., etc., etc. Ask them to leave. Try to teach them is your first option. Don't just be, oh, he's a bad player. Invest some time into him, and you might find he's the next Morblitz of the Lumberjack.
Yeah, and then, these are the things that I'm
Or
talking
Moriarty.
about as,
I'm sorry.
promoting people to stack their teams is like this kind of behavior. It's like, yeah, really supporting, really discovering. Like, this comes back to StarCraft 2. It's like I jump into a random 2v2 match, and the guy that I play with is actually awesome, and I'm like, hey, we should play more often. I go out of my way to, like, chat him, find his username and chat him. It's actually kind of hard, but it was in my interest because we were scored on the ladder because of that. So we're going to lean towards that. It's like, hey, I want to play with you again because you're good, type of stuff. And that's how we want people to develop their new crews and ship configs and stuff like that, playing with new people. They're going to reward you for that, basically.
Yeah. Quaiso's saying, can we get a kick option? Like in game, they fall and black out after literally kicking them off a ship. Oh, boy.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good for morale.
I just think on April Fool Day, you should release, like, a mutiny patch in which you can kill the captain. That's all I want. It just boots the captain from the game.
So it's technically, like, not boarding because you're already on your own ship, but you can kill your own captain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It wouldn't be that hard. You just have to give him a health variable and have the give the hammer something which would reduce that variable. Once that variable is reduced to 0, respawn and set the respawn onto the delay, or somehow force quit the game. Yeah,
just make it so that the rubber mallet makes a cartoonish bonk sound when you hit another player with it. That's all people would really need.
Pretty much. Oh, so much trolling if we did that.